Okay, so earlier today I saw a photo from Joshua Bardwell indicating that the Goggles 2 had access to see the older version of air units. So what I wanted to do in this video is see if we can get it connected to the Goggles 2 by doing some firmware updates. Now keep in mind, I do have access to some of the beta firmware, but if the beta firmware allows me to connect to the Goggles 2, that is really promising to everybody hoping that the older air units will be compatible with these, the Goggles 2. Let's get started. What's up guys, Ken here, you're watching OriginaldoBo, and let's just go ahead and try to update the goggles. Now I just recently updated the goggles, but I want to talk about the version number that I'm on. So if you are looking to do this, you know exactly what version they should be on to make this work. So the update came out on 11/24, which would have been Thanksgiving. And the version number is 01.01.0911. And it's 197 megabytes, 197.16 megabytes. And if I click on the release notes, it doesn't indicate what they changed in this version, but my guess is they made it compatible with the older air units. So now that the goggles are updated, the next thing we need to do is connect up our air unit, which I already updated one of the air units, so I already know what's going to happen, but I won't spoil that for you just yet. So I'm gonna connect this up, plug a battery in. Obviously I should be taking props off doing this, but I'm just so excited. So we'll let this connect up. We'll talk about what the version number should be to make this work. It does take a second for it to connect to the DJI Assistant. I am using the DJI Assistant for consumer drones, so keep that in mind if you're looking to do this. It may not work for you, it's working for me right now, but again, I am running beta firmware. So I'm gonna click on the air unit, and it's going to go to the version. And right now I am on the most current version. Now this version came out on 11/24. And that version number is 01.01.0502. That is the current version. Again, if we click on release notes, it doesn't give us any additional information. Now that this drone is on, and now that I have the goggles on here, I'm gonna put the goggles on my face, and I'm actually already bound. And one really cool thing about this is this drone right here is already paired up here. And I think it may not be actually, maybe it's not bound. I have an image, but it's not actually moving. So let me unbind. I'm gonna unplug that. I think when I connected it, it stopped working, but if it is working, what I'll do is I will do a screen recording here. I guess you can't record the screen until it actually binds. All right, there we go. So now I'm recording on the screen, and you can see I'm putting my hand here. And this is the old air unit, so there's no fuckery here. It works. I'm running KISS. I don't see my RC quality, but I do see I have voltage, so voltage does work. Let's go into the transmission configurations here to see what options we have and what channel modes we have. If we go to manual, I can choose nothing but the bandwidth of 40 megahertz, 20 megahertz, and 10 megahertz. I can't choose anything other than that. I can choose whether I want focus mode on auto or off. I'm gonna turn that off. I can't really change anything else though. If I go into the status, you can see I'm on the DJI FPV air unit, but if I click on switch, I can switch over to the O3 air unit or the DJI Avata. I don't know if I disconnect from here, if it's going to rebind or make me rebind to my other quad. So that'll be a question I do have, and I'll have to check. But it doesn't look like there's any other options as far as that goes. There's nothing under there. There's no other options as far as transmission. Let's see what under more has. More doesn't really allow you to do anything else. So transmission wise, there's some things still missing. It just shows channel 1 and it's in auto. So you can't make any changes to it, but that does work. So it is bound to the older air unit, that's the Caddx Vista, but the options are very limited to where before you can change your channels and adjust things. I don't see any of that information under here, at least as of right now. So really interesting. All right, let me unplug this and let me go grab an O3 air unit and see if I can make the switch without having to rebind it. All right, so this is the bot grinder with the O3 air unit in it. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same process. I'm going to simply go under settings, or I should say transmission, or actually status, I should say. And I'm gonna switch off the old air unit and switch to the new one. And let's see if I switch. Does it make me rebind? This is going to be the question. This will be annoying if you have to rebind each and every time. I'm hoping that you don't have to. I'm hoping that the goggles are smart enough to know. It said switch successfully, and yeah, sure as shit, you do not have to rebind. So I can go back and forth. So now this is the bot grinder. So this is the bot grinder build, and you can see it's going back and forth, and no, you don't have to rebind. So you should be able to go from old air unit to O3 air unit seamlessly and easy. So pretty awesome stuff. I don't know when this is coming out. I can't provide the firmware. I just accidentally stumbled across it. I don't even know if I should have access to that, but you know what? It's cool as shit to see that they are actually doing this. All right, that's gonna do it for this video. When this becomes officially available, if it already isn't officially available, I would just say keep checking your DJI Assistant and making sure that your Caddx Vista is up to date along with your goggles too, so they can communicate with one another. I'll see you in the next video. Stay original.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I